Hey YouTube, it's Clay again. Been away for a while, but I've got a new project. This is going to be a simple project. Anyone with some power tools can do this. It's not going to require a whole lot of skill or any fine details. Making a broad axe out of a sheet of steel. This is 1/4 inch steel. I believe this is normalized because it doesn't seem to be too hard to cut through, but 1/4 inch steel, and we're going to be cutting this shape out. And the way this is going to work is we're going to cut the shape out and drill a few holes for rivets or bolts or what have you, and attach a handle with a slot through it. So all you're really going to need is an angle grinder, or you can probably get away with if you have a bandsaw that has a metal cutting bit or saw on it, or if you want to try, go ahead and grab a hacksaw and start cutting away. But all you're going to need is this and whatever files or sandpaper. I'm going to use a flap disc for the angle grinder for any kind of sanding, shining, shaping, whatever you're going to need to do. Of course, you're going to need either a drill press or a power drill and some metal bits for them. So we already got it marked out, and let's get to work. Real quick, guys, before we continue, just want to show I made a couple last minute changes right here. So I'm going to have a curved bottom here, and it's going to pull in just a little bit. Also, I want to taper this up just a little bit. So yeah, let's go back to it. Okay, so all the rough grinding is now complete. I want to come in now and clean up all these, all the marks with a flap disc. We're just using the grinding disc. And I'm going to give it its final edge. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we have the edge profile, most of the grinding marks sanded out. Now we need to drill for rivets. So we're going to mark about the center, right around there somewhere, and put a straight edge. Any ruler, straight edge, anything, just in the middle. Got to compensate for the size of the chalk, but there we go, that'll work. And along that line is where we're going to draw are where we're going to drill for the rivets. So let's go to the bandsaw. Of course I'm at drill press, but I'm not totally out of my mind. There's a bandsaw right there. So we need to drill holes for our rivets, but it's important to make sure that the holes that you drill are going to fit whatever you're going to use to secure it to the handle. I'm using this rod, so that's about, we'll say an 1/8 inch wide. So I'll drill an 1/8 inch or a little over an 1/8 inch. So let's get the drill ready and get back to it. Okay, so we're going to drill, everything set up here. We're going to drill 4 holes. The only thing that's important, especially with high carbon steel like this, yes, it is high carbon. I was wrong when I said in the video earlier, because it took forever to grind through this. I spared you guys hours of grinding. Anyway, the only thing that's terribly important when you're drilling through harder steel is, especially when you're using smaller drill bits, is to keep it cooled down. They sell cutting oil and drilling oil and things like that. Water works fine. Just anything to keep it cooled down. I have a spray bottle. I'm just gonna keep it wet while I drill. So let's get into it. Okay, so the next part we're going to work on is the handle. This is going to be a wooden handle. This is a casualty from the latest snowstorm we had. It's an old snow shovel. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slot in this for the blade to fit through. And after that is cut, we're going to need to put a metal sheathing via this metal pipe over top of that. And then file out that groove we just cut. So let's get to that. Okay, so I've marked out about where I want the line. You can see that right there. And I'm going to try and cut this out in the bandsaw. Fair warning now, this might not work on the first try, so bear with me. Try something else. Okay, this time around we have a little trick I like to do every now and then. We have our jigsaw mounted upside down in the vise. So we're going to hold down the trigger and put the lock on and try and cut it like that. Okay, so obviously I'm not the most brilliant carpenter in the world, but we can work with this. I'm just going to get saws and files and whatnot and widen that out to about 1/4 inch so it'll fit the blade. I'll get back to you when that's done. Okay, I got it. That took a various amount of trips from the bandsaw to files and hand saws and everything else. It was kind of a disaster, but I got it. It fits. It's flimsy, but it fits. Now we need to put a metal sheathing over it and then file out the slots for that. I know that might have looked a little difficult based on how I was doing it, but this is one of the situations, especially with me, anything I can do, you can do better. Trust me. So let's get into the next step. Okay, so this is our metal pipe, and we need to cut, we'll do a few inches past the slot that we just cut in the wooden handle. So we'll say, about right there. One mark over here. There we go. And we'll cut that with the hacksaw. So let's do that real fast, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we got our metal piece cut out, and we're just going to put it right over top of this. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, after some sturdy convincing, we got that on there. And now all we want to do is follow the slot we cut in the wood on the metal. we'll start that with a hacksaw and then run through files to profile it out. Now let's get right to that. Okay, so after much motivation, lots of sawing, lots of grinding, I finally got this to fit. And it is actually really sturdy right on there like that. So yeah. We have the metal sheathing over the wood with the slot cut through. Next up is the rivets. And I kind of screwed up and I pre-drilled those because I'm going to need to drill through the handle to get those rivets in their correct spots. So first thing what we're going to do is, you can see how this is flared out. You can kind of see, you can see how that's flared out a bit from when I was forcing it on there. I'm going to take a mallet and just pound that down a bit just to kind of bend it back into shape. And once we're done with that, we're going to drill for rivets, but we're not going to rivet it on just yet. We're going to shape up this piece here. I'm not going to profile that all the way down, but I am going to round these down so we don't have these pointy edges sticking out. But then that's coming along nicely, so let's get to that. Okay, so the holes for the rivets have been drilled once again, and let's go ahead and get those rivets in there. I will show how to do how to make rivets in a different video, so you can watch that and see how it's going to do. The only challenge is going to be after I get the rivets in is I'm going to have to profile this down. I decided I don't want to take it out because it's perfectly positioned and it's probably going to be a pain in the neck to get back. So once I rivet it, I'll profile that down. Alright, let's get back to it. Okay, so we got all three of our rivets in. One of them bent, but that's alright. It still holds. If you want to see how I do the rivets, I'll put a link in the description when I get the video up. But the next step is we need to clean this up. So I'm going to just take my angle grinder and clean these up right here on the edges. And I'll get right back to you when that's done. Okay, so that's all trimmed up, and everything that's going to be done now is mostly just cosmetic stuff, and I am going to do some stuff like that. So I finished the axe up with a matte black paint job and a paracord wrap, but you can do any way that you like if you make one. Hope you liked the video. If you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and if you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and until next time.